champions who also endorsed further testing. The estimated cost for the soil borings is $34,910. Upon completion of the testing, there may be additional costs for the remediation plan and, of course, the remediation. Now, this is Keith Wiley, head of ELAND, and he's writing to Clyde Hobby. He goes on to say, our understanding is that the seller is not in a position to proceed with this testing and any additional reports, nor would the seller be able to finance any required remediation. If the county incurs these expenses, the county would seek to recover said expenses through a reduction in the purchase price or some form of reimbursement of closing. So, the seller will not pay for the remediation. We have this in writing. Now, this is contrary to what we've been told, that the seller is going to pay for the cleanup costs. We've been told it by people in the community, we've been told it by the county. They've even posted fact sheets on their website saying, the contract says the seller's going to pay for the cleanup costs. Well, that's true. The contract does say that the seller's going to pay for the cleanup costs. The contract also says that the county has the right to waive that condition and close anyway. And now we have documentation that says that the seller's got no money to pay for the remediation costs. In order for this to happen, the seller would have to reduce the purchase price. Now think about that for a second. Reduce the purchase price. So far they've not done it. Now, I don't expect the seller to reduce the purchase price, because if that happens, that would mean the lien holders are not going to get paid. Now, as I said, we said before, Hobby & Hobby has a lien on the property. They're also the attorney representing the seller. So, no, this price is not going to get reduced if it comes out of the pockets of the lien holders. So that's not going to happen. Now, bring us a little bit more current. May of 2017, we've got Clyde Hobby writing a letter to Keith Wiley. This is dealing with the additional testing that the county was going to go forward with, and they were going to spend the money and they were going to do it. Remember, they were going to spend the money. That means more money that would have to be paid back. So Clyde Hobby's writing to Keith Wiley, and he says, Keith, please deal directly with my son-in-law partner Clark on this matter. He has a plan for totally resolving this issue with FDEP through our environmental consultant. Please do not proceed with ordering any more testing utilizing the county's consultant. So, I guess we will have to wait and see what he has in mind, but it looks like we're not going to find out just how contaminated this land really is. Now, I'm coming to the end. I want to leave you with two last documents that I feel kind of sum up what we've been dealing with. Yeah, I could say over the years now, it's been that long, on this issue. The first item of the last two, this is a letter written by the president of the Gulf Harbor Civic Association addressed to Commissioner Catherine Starkey. And this was April of 2017, so this is not very long ago. This is right in the middle of the lawsuit, in the middle of everything that's going on. So he writes to Commissioner Starkey, he says, our board of directors and other proponents of the Gulf Harbor's Park, he still calls it a park, Gulf Harbor's Park/Preserve project have a lack of information to use for contradicting the vast flow of misinformation from the opponents of this project. Since so many of the operating details for the MSBU and the park, still calls it a park, are not in writing from the county, we are losing the battle in the court of public opinion, and people are defecting to the opposition group. I guess we're the opposition group. Now, finally, we've heard a lot about what Clark Hobby has to say about everything that's been going on behind the scenes here, and the last email, appropriately, is going to be from him. This is in May of 2016. So I'm going back in time a little bit, but May of 2016, now remember, this is just before all of these public hearings were being made, all of these letters going out to the residents, the public meeting at the Gulf Harbor's clubhouse, where we were being told, you gotta buy it, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, you have to buy it now or we're gonna lose the chance. Remember all that? Remember that? All of the campaign to push the yes vote? Well, this email dated May of 2016, just before all of that yes vote campaign was getting started. So Mr. Hobby writes, and he's addressing this actually to the county attorney's office. He says, "What is important to me is making this deal happen the way it was promised to us. Closing very soon, as in late June or early July." That's all he says about it. That's probably a good point to wrap it up. I think I've done a little bit to pull the curtain back on what's been going on behind the scenes. I hope you guys realize that there was a lot more than meets the eye on this deal, a lot more than what we've been told. These are all documents that we obtained from the county, public records. You can get copies yourself, read them yourself, inform yourself, educate yourself, make up your own minds. All we can do is give you information, but you got to make up your own minds about what's been going on. A lot of this, nobody's ever seen before. I don't think the county ever expected anybody to ever see it. But there it is. And with that, I thank you.
So I guess the question, if you could just give me one more minute, please. Please don't leave. If you could just stay for one more minute, I promise we'll keep this brief. The question now is, what do we do now? Because we already heard that the only person that has legal standing in this thing is Diane Kobernick. I can't file a suit now if I'm mad. If I'm upset with everything I've found out, I've missed the deadline to do that. So there's one person that's been fighting the fight, one person that's been bearing the cost of that. Here's what we're going to ask you to do if we could. There's 1,800 residents, more or less, in Gulf Harbors. If each of us would help out by contributing to a legal fund for Diane Kobernick, we can win this. The only way that she can lose is if she runs out of money, runs out of time, or runs out of the heart to keep fighting. I've met them. She ain't running out of heart anytime soon. But the problem is attorneys are expensive. They count on her running out of money. That's how the county has won in other times that they prevail against citizens. Citizens don't have the unlimited resources and the deep pockets to keep writing the checks. And they keep burying her with new requests and extensions and other things that cost money. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. The church tonight was rented for a very nominal fee, but guess what? That didn't cost any of us any money. It was a donation from somebody that believes in Diane Kobernick's fight. I've made a commitment to contribute to her legal fund. What I'd like to ask you to consider doing, we formed a group called Gulf Harbors United. Ray is our president. We have our treasurer and secretary. Ladies, if you give a wave over at the table here, and I'll read their names in a minute because I have short timers. What's that called where you can't remember things? I can't remember the name. Oh, Kathy Everett? Yes. Is our treasurer. But it's a 501c3. It's been set up properly, and it's a tax-exempt, tax-deductible donation when you make it. The money will be all accounted for. It's going to be used for legal funds. If we don't need it all, maybe we'll give it back or do a picnic or something. We don't know, but we have to be in a position where the county knows that there are resources there. You know, if you were fighting an opponent in a gunfight, you knew they had 4 bullets left. Are you in a hurry now? No, just let them keep shooting. And at some point, it's an easy fight to win. That's all they're waiting for her to run out of money. So I'd like you to think about doing it. The checks could be made out to Gulf Harbors United. This is 2017. We can take credit cards, and cash is always good too, and we'll give you a receipt. The other thing that you can do is talk to your neighbors. Tell somebody that doesn't agree with you, you need to check this out. Here's what I've learned. Don't try to convince them because it's going to be a debate. You know, let them read some of these emails and some of these letters. Let me ask you, did those blow your mind? I mean, so blatant, so open, no care because they thought nobody would ever see it. And guess what? 1,800 people in this subdivision, if it wasn't for her, nobody would have ever seen it. So thank you for your time. We're going to be right here. We'll answer any questions with facts. Again, we don't want to give you opinions, we want to give you facts. If you can write a check tonight, we so much appreciate it. Some people aren't going to write a check, so if you feel moved to say, you know what, I was going to give 50, here's 100, I was going to give 100, here's 200, whatever, I promise you the money will be accounted for and well spent. Thank you so much for being here, we really appreciate it.